Hey there everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Revamped by Renee. So in today's video, I am bringing you a pretty substantial DIY project. This is an almost 3-foot tall pumpkin stacked project. And I created it with 3 basic materials. All you need is fabric, pillows, and jute. That is it for everything. So I wanted to create this where you didn't need to sew. And I mean literally no sewing. No hand sewing, no machine sewing. And I did just that. So I buckled down, found a way to make it happen, and this is what I'm bringing you. So let's jump into it because this one is gonna blow your mind. All right, so let's go ahead and go through our fabric. So I grabbed this really dark gray leaf pattern from Joann's. This one I had on stash already. It's kind of that gingham pattern with a little bit of those darker to light grayed squares. And then this one I absolutely loved. This was a new find for me at Joann's. And then you're also gonna need some scissors and jute. And just to mention, I am doing more fall colors in this pumpkin stack with my fabric, but with the dark tones in the fabric, you can definitely have this sit through Halloween going into Thanksgiving because it does have a lot of darker tones that pop through. And if you want this to be just a good old-fashioned orange jack-o'-lantern pumpkin that is going to sit out all Halloween, then by all means just use orange fabric, and then you can always add some felt jack-o'-lantern face accents. All right, and I'm going through my pillows here. So I've got 3 sizes of pillows. So I've got these, the bottom pillows are the ones that came with our couch, and they are a little bit firmer but still have a lot of give. You're going to want pillows that aren't completely filled and very hard. You're going to want a lot of flexibility. And then I grabbed some softer, smaller pillows. And then the very last one is a very, very lightly filled pillow. So you're going to need 2, 2, and 1. All right, and so basically what I'm doing here is I'm gathering the fabric to just get an idea of the size of fabric I need to cut. And I do have measurements for you guys, so I will go ahead and give those as we go through each pumpkin. Then after we figure out how much fabric about that we're gonna need, we're just gonna kind of centralize the pillows towards one of the corners. And then I'm just taking a tape measure to make sure that from the center of the pillows out to the edges is even all the way around. And the fabric measurement for this pumpkin came out to be 35 inches by 35 inches. And these measurements are just gonna be a guide for you to recreate the size pumpkins I did. All right, and then you're going to need some type of band. I am using the ones that I already had. These are the Goody brand, and they are the clear elastic bands for your hair. But of course, just use what you have on hand. Rubber bands will do, as well as other hair ties. This section will not be seen whatsoever. Okay, so I'm taking the 2 diagonal ends of my fabric, and I am bringing them together and pulling them as tight as I want them. And then we're going to take our hair tie and then we're just going to wrap it around and secure those 2 ends. And then for this part, this will apply to both ends of our pillows. We're going to do these individually. So you're going to secure them individually. And what I'm doing is I'm curling my pillows under to kind of round out that section. And then just pulling my end up again. And you're kind of going to do a combination of tucking in any excess fabric and then pulling it tight again. And you're just going to simply do this until you're satisfied with how it looks and feels. And then we're going to secure that end to the others. And then we're going to do the exact same process on the other side, securing that end as well. And now you can see we have a very good base for our pumpkin, and it is perfectly rounded. You're going to take the ends now and group them together, and then you're just simply going to tuck them under a piece of fabric that you can get them into, and it creates a nice flat top for us to set the other pumpkins on top of. All right, and this was my favorite part. This is really where the pumpkin comes to life. It is a completely optional part of the creative process because you can simply just leave your pumpkin rounded like this and stop right there. but I am taking my jute and I am simply measuring out how much I need. And you don't need too much slack, just enough to kind of tighten at the top. So go ahead and put it underneath in the middle of your pumpkin. And we're gonna just pull it nice and tight as you want your ridges for your pumpkin. And we're gonna do this process until you're completely happy with how many ridges you have and how they look. And then I just did a really basic double knot at the top, and then you're good to go. And here is our finished pumpkin. It looks absolutely beautiful. I was so pleased with the results. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Now for our next pumpkin, this will be our medium middle one that will go on top of the largest pumpkin. I am going to speed this process up, let you enjoy some music, and pop in here and there since this will be a complete repeat of the first steps we did for the largest pumpkin. All right, and the measurements for this medium pumpkin are going to be about 30 inches by 30 inches, so about 5 inches less than our largest pumpkin. And I am loving the way that this medium pumpkin is turning out. And then I did go ahead and just trim a little bit of the excess of my edges and did the same process, tuck them into a little spot in the fabric to create a flush surface for our smallest pumpkin to sit on. And then just go ahead and create as many ridges as you would like. All right, and just like that, we've got our medium middle pumpkin ready to go. And if you are enjoying this process and this video, would you please leave me a thumbs up down below? It really helps me understand what my viewers are enjoying. Now this step is completely optional. You can either cut those extra tail ends of the jute, or you can tuck it into the fabric like we did with the fabric ends. All right, and now we're going to get into our last and final pumpkin, the smallest one. And I'm going to show the process of this just a little bit more because I opened up my fabric and realized I didn't have as much as I had thought. So I had to kind of work around that, and I totally made it happen. So I just want to show you that in case you really like a certain pattern of something and you don't have as much as you anticipated. So since I didn't have a perfectly square piece of fabric, I went ahead and cut to where majority of the pillow would be covered. And then I just cut another strip of fabric to compensate for the exposed area of the pillow. And then I'm taking my strip of fabric and I am simply just tucking it underneath the side that we didn't close yet on the bottom. And then I'm going to tuck it on the top and then the sides. And again, this is just if you have a piece of fabric or even a blanket or whatever you're using for your pumpkins that you really, really love and it doesn't have quite as much reach as you were hoping. If you do have the reach that you need, then just go ahead and continue with this the way we did the other two. All right, and you guys know the deal. Go ahead and just tie off your ends and then create your ridges with your jute. And I will see you next with the finished pumpkin to make our stem. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few variations on how you can create your stem. So you can use jute as I am doing here, or you can use a strip of felt as well as excess fabric. And then you can also just tuck the ends into the top of the pumpkin like we did with the other two, and then go outside, grab a stick, cut it down to size, and then just adhere it on there with some hot glue. So I created mine with jute and I just tied a double knot at the very base of our excess fabric. Then you're just gonna wrap it all the way up till you get to the top, and then you can trim your fabric at the top to get the desired height that you want your stem to be. And that will wrap up this small pumpkin. And of course I had to add a beautiful bow to snazz up this beautiful pumpkin, and I used some burlap ribbon I had that I got from Michael's. It was the Celebrate It brand, and there was 2 different colors that they had, and it's got this beautiful fringe on the ends, and it's about 2.5 inches wide. And to keep in the spirit of being able to reuse all of our materials, I went to Dollar Tree and picked up these first 2 packs of Velcro dots and squares, and then another one from the Velcro brand. I believe I got at Joann's. And this will just help you secure your pumpkins together when you're stacking them. Now, if you have yours propped in a corner like I did, you probably don't need the Velcro dots. So this is the first thing you see when you walk through our front door, and I am so proud of it. I absolutely love the colors, how they all coordinate together, and I love that they have some darker tones coming through them, making them very relevant for Halloween and then right into Thanksgiving. I love that bow at the top and how the tail end cascades down the sides. It is a perfect touch to finish off the very tippy top of our pumpkin stack. If you gain anything, I hope that you are inspired to utilize what you have at home, because when we use what we have around us, it makes it that much more special. All right, everybody, so that's going to wrap up today's video. But before I go, please let me know down in the comments if you were inspired, if this was an easier way to create those fabric pumpkins that we see everywhere, and if you are going to give it a try yourself. Make sure that you're subscribed. You don't want to miss any content coming up, especially going into the holidays, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Thanks for stopping by.